So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had some fruitful discussion. I gave you some extra minutes now, because I heard the coffee comes later. So we have had some extra minutes. What I'm doing now is I will go from table to table. I have my running chair here, and then I will ask some people about their impression from your discussion. So I have here a very active elementary school teacher. Can you give me a short impression what was in the discussion very special for you?
Looking from the other areas of experts, we can gather some nice conclusion. We talked about the criteria for the Genome. Those are firstly mentioned engagement, and especially engagement of young people. And we also need to think about the activities should for the experiences, and we also need to think about the economic aspect of it. And
thank you very much. So, a voice from Austria you will hear later. So, what was your impression as a speaker?
Yes, we said that the personal engagement and the personal dedication is the most important thing. Also from the local people, they are very important, and the economic aspect of the local people is to combine with the preservation of the nature. Otherwise, they would say we don't like to work with the national park because they want our land today, and we don't have anything of it.
Okay, thank you. What did you get out from the discussion?
I agree with you, and I think the local people's participation is very important. And I think the education for local people will be more important. Through their participation, the nature will be conserved, and the future will be secured.
Lorilu, last word.
We talked about one factor that maybe none of us have mentioned very much was the investment in the facilities. The infrastructure can also provide a way of communicating use of renewable energies, use of sustainable materials. So we also sort of thought, that's something that maybe it's a fantastic way to convey those messages through those facilities that are there.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the table. So I switch quickly to the next table. What did you get out of the discussion?
I guess one thing that got me thinking was in raising public awareness, because we talked a bit about this earlier, is there's less and less people going to parks. That we have to raise awareness of what the value is of these areas, not just biological, but in so many aspects, the culture as well. Yeah, I don't know, we're talking about a lot of different things, there's some process here.
Okay, thank you. Is there something specific in your mind where you think this is really special for ESD in national parks?
Thank you very much. We discussed various things in this group, very interesting issues. And one of the things I think it was mentioned by various people here that parks or education, environmental education or education through parks should be, and those parks should be actually public, not for resource generation, or should not be private as a category. It should be healthy and in parks, as well as should be source of or centers of education of the community. Not only education education in itself is good, but also we should go further in teaching people and showing people about the value of species, the value of biodiversity, the value of ecosystem, not only in terms of happiness, but also the value in terms of how much it costs. If you lose this species, how much it's going to cost? For example, you can show the value of one species in terms of health of people, in terms of income, in terms of, and one example also given, for example, ecosystem can do a lot in cleaning water. If you don't have this ecosystem, what will happen is that you could have billions of dollars for cleaning water and giving people clean water. So you should show the value in terms of how much it costs, the real cost of that ecosystem. Park should play, should play a role in teaching people and showing public in this case. Thank you very much.
Very much. By the way, added value, what has been the added value for you as a speaker discussing with this nice participant?
I was interested when we started talking a little bit that if national park people don't shout the value of the nature, who else is going to shout the value for nature? There may be other bodies shouting about gender equality or migrant people or whoever is, whatever the other issues are, which may cross over into national parks. But we do need to make sure that the important thing about species for species' sake is not lost. Then that led us to think is we can have education in national parks, but perhaps not all education is education for sustainability.
Thank you. Mark, the last remark.
I was interested to find that our group at least momentarily returned to the idea that actually the transformative value of parks for all humanity is the experience of the virtually the spiritual experience of tranquility, of peace, of enabling us to return to nature and to gain the transformative benefit of that. And I think perhaps it's something that we haven't otherwise focused on quite as much during these proceedings.
Thank you, Mark. I switch now to the group. Thank you very much for the group discussion here. I traveled to Mexico, so can you give us an inside view of what you experienced in this discussion?
Well, my conclusion is that the national park must be very close with, working very close with the people, and you must have national park with sustainable services working well, and you must see for well-being of the people and trying to that the communities recognize the work that the national parks are doing.
Thank you very much. Your impression, what have been main features for you in the discussion?
Actually, it was, I'm a researcher from Directorate of Research. Today, actually, I discovered that I have to just clear that things because I was against the conservation. They just, our colleague here over this table, they said that maybe a researcher cannot be allowed to enter such places while I'm doing this job for 20 years and I'm conserving here and here, whatever. We are working with medicinal plants and forages all around our country, and we try to conserve the seed. And I was explaining that it is one step of the utilization. So when we go, we have 8 protected areas in our country. One of them is the national park, and I feel it's okay because we have a Masqat festival take place in this park. So even for the new generation, it is have been something that is every part of this park have been discovered clearly because community bring whatever they did things and they start cooking. Some of our things that are indigenous to the country, handmade things that from medicinal plant they sell over there. So I think it is kind of conservation. For our side, seed we conserve in our tree banks. We try to just give it to the student, to the visitor, to try to plant.
Thank you very much. Thank you. From the speaker side, what did you learn? Added values from the discussion with the participants?
Actually, we have lots of different experience coming. And when we begin the instruction you gave us that we need to discuss about the quality criteria. So we actually initiated with our discussion with schools. So what are the 3 quality criteria where we look into schools? So can we have some matching, looking at school quality criteria and national park? So she actually very well added that when we look at the school, we look at the teaching learning opportunities, then look at the management and look at the school community relationship. So we found there is a very close connection if you look at the context of national park. You can look at the individual's understanding and perception, and look at the management by the park service provider, and also look at the community and national park relationship. So that's what we actually discussed on this, and there are more points she will add to that.
Okay, thank you very much. So, concluding remarks from Sang-Kim Lee about the quality criteria.
Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful explanation. And then I think we can have all 3 categories related to the quality criteria of ESD National Park. But the most important thing is sustainability of national park. So for this quality criteria, we need to make a partnership with community and some participation of community members. So it can raise their ownership and responsible behavior in the national park area. Yeah, so I think most of quality criteria that our group members suggested something in the category of national park and community relationship. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the table. Actually, I'm highly interested into some results. So I saw you have some paper